All right, as already just shown and documented in our overview, this will be the start of the actual repair process. We're going to demonstrate and document every step of the way and see, hey, does it, create any more damage, or are we good to go? Or hey, maybe can we perform these repairs but double or triple the amount of shingles that we're actually replacing with versus, I think the 27 that are accounted for. But either way, you're dealing with a pro. I've got the roof snake and the hammer and my nails and my new shingle right here, likable material as well. So I'm going to put this camera down, give you guys a good view. And what I'm going to do is start, slowly breaking the bonds of the shingles above B19 and trying to find the seam, after which we'll start pulling some nails out, swapping out the new shingle, and then showing everything step of the way of our process here to find the best solution. So I've got a damaged shingle here. What I'm going to do, I always start with the one above to the left and the one above to the right, and I'm going to break these bonds real quick, and then which they're pretty taut and they're pretty brittle. But what I'm going to do is try to find that seam and do so as gently as possible, trying not to lift the shingles up above that 45 degree, which is that angle of the roof snake right here. So first thing I'm going to do, find my tar strip, and they're very, very tight. Very tight. And I'm trying to be gentle because I don't want to be scrutinized too much. But you can hear the shingle just cracking. See how tight this is? And I'm being gentle. Trying to move as slow as possible so that you can see. All right, so I'm gonna look below. Wait till you see this. But I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to lift this up any further, but I want to be able to show you what it looks like just from breaking the bond. Try and put a little pressure on it this time. This one came a little easier. I think it was already lifted right here. Got a little bit of mat transfer. See if we can find this seam. So go to the left or the right. You can just hear it tearing through the back. Okay, here's our seam. I'll show you what this looks like in a second, but I'm going to mark these off. So 1, 2, 3 will be the shingle that we're pulling out and replacing with. And then we're going to count above. So we got 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. Hopefully. Then 1, 2, 3. Hopefully that's where our nails are. We'll start to show for it, but look at the way that's not even sitting back. Just want to show, before I even do anything else, what the level of tearing looks like on the back of the shingle. I'm trying to be as safe as I possibly can. So here's the shingle that we're replacing. This is actually the seam on the right hand side. So this shingle starts going to the left, and this will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at this. So I'm trying not to lift it too high, but look at that level of significant mat transfer, right? And and that's just from breaking a bond. And if you were to feel the brittleness of these shingles, they're very taut. They're very brittle. Look at the granulars just sliding off. Look, sliding on the roof. And so breaking the bonds that are so tight on these is tearing the back of the shingle, because if you can see that level of mat right there, what do you think it looks like on the back side of the shingle, right? Look at this one. This is really bad. Look at that level of tearing just for breaking the bond, right? So I think I want to be able to show you this properly, but I think we can all agree, before I lift this shingle up any higher to show you what the back side looks like, I think we can all agree that just by breaking the bond here gently, right, not forcefully, that this is already damaged. And so I want to show you what that looks like, right? Look at the back side. That is ripped and torn all the way through, where that will never seal again. And look at the way it's sitting because of how it tore trying to pull that bond up. All right, and this is what I've experienced on like all the original roofs all over the neighborhood. And so we've only broken two shingles so far. No, 3. So let's look at this one. Look at that. Look, see that big gaping hole right there? What do you think the backside of the shingle looks like? It's ripped off completely. If you were to run your fingers through it, you can literally feel this missing chunk from the back of the shingle itself. That's absolutely damaged. And so we've only touched the row above, and we're not even done breaking all the bonds. But this should show, hey, you know, we're dealing with a little bit more than expected, potential repair than expected, right? So we just want to find the right solution. We want to do things the right way. So let me continue safely. I'll break the bonds of the rest of them, and then I'll show for any level of, you know, causation here by doing this. And then keep in mind, like I said, I'm a professional within this side of the industry that has done this hundreds of times with the proper tools and methods, right? Scrutinized by every carrier, but for the most part, always done so successfully and respectfully and with care and demonstration and professionalism, right? Where the majority of roofs where they're justifiably deemed unrepairable or non-repairable, where I have submitted videos for, including with home site, there is never been any scrutinization towards that. It's just, imagine what any other contractor would come out that's not a part of this industry, not held up to your standards, would come out to be able to do, right? They wouldn't be caring to do this so gently. They'd be using a big ass pry bar and literally ripping areas up. So first of all, let me get this bottom row. All right, that came go easy. Oh, that came good. Now this row above doesn't really want to break like that. This tar bond for the shingle we're removing is a little bit lower. So got some heavy mat transfer there. Try not to lift it too high. And then of course, once you do so, you're breaking these below it in order to do that. So they're not sticking as firmly as they could through there. I'll show you all of this. Got some massive tearing right here. They're not sticking as firmly anymore because the row below is already, affected, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Where's my seam? Okay. So now we're gonna pull out these first few nails, and I'm gonna try and show how they come out. Because a lot of times they're so tight that, all right, so there's our first one. Rusted, by the way. There we go. And hopefully it's only got 4 nails. God, it tore right through. So it just tore through 2 nails, which I've got to find the way to remove them without lifting this shingle up too high, because we need it taut, we need it flat. All right, so there's our second. Where are we? Got to be able to see under here, guys, and this is the damaged shingle we're removing, by the way. There we go. See, the nails are tearing right through the shingle themselves, so then I got to get them from the deck. Where are we? Yeah, this shingle's got like 6 nails in it, by the way. Hate it when they do that. And this is like the reality that we have to deal with here. As contractors who do this level of construction, we're always going to, you know, run into things that are unexpected, that, you know, have to be equated for, have to be accounted for, and have to be respected through our industry, right? Because I'm sure there's many things that you go through on your side of the industry that come up are extremely unexpected, and it's like there was no way to properly account for that in the beginning, right? All right, so That's like 6 nails already pulled out of this first shingle, and we're not even through the first row, all the way through the first row. All right, so let's see if we can find the other ones. There's like 2 right next to each other. All right, we got some tearing here. Got some sizable tearing. This first nail out of the second row. Trying to be gentle here. These things are tough. So let's make sure there ain't no more. Hopefully there ain't no more on that side. It's tore through the shingle, by the way. I'll show you all this in a second. Just want to get these nails out while I'm in a safe position instead of having to keep grabbing the camera. So I'm trying to be gentle, just so you know, but it doesn't seem like gentle effort is working as well for me as I'd like it to, but I'm doing it for you. All right, come on. Let's see. All right, I gotta break this one over here, actually. All right, that should be the last nail, hopefully. It's a lot of nails. Nope, got one more somewhere. There we go. So this is really bad. I'm gonna show you all this in a second. This is really bad. There's my nail. All right, I gotta be really careful of all these nails that are strung out on the roof, but I gotta show you this. I slid the shingle down a little bit to make sure that there was no more nails left, but I wanna be able to show you, right? So here's the level of matte transfer that we're looking at, that I was trying to show you in the beginning when I first stopped. Look, that's insane. So if you can see that on this shingle, imagine what the backs of them look. Look, here's a whole chunk of shingle that came off the back or the side or somewhere. Here's our nail holes, many of which, you know, see this shingle? This one we're pulling out started to tear just by trying to access the nails. That's not me. It's not me. I'm on video. My bad, brother. I'm on video. Yeah. Same thing over here, right? So let's take a look at the back sides of these shingles. Look at that. It's insane. And making sure this is clear, right? We got a lot to look at on that, but that is the shingle that we're removing. You can see the condition of the rest of the roof. We've already got some cracking and creasing on this one. Got a little bit on this one already, and this one goes that way. Look, we got some cracking and creasing right here, and all we've done is, you know, break the bond and remove the nails. So this one's all right. This one's got a little bit up at the top, up at this top corner, but this one's very stressed. So this one would be considered damaged by all standards, and we're not even done. And the back sides of that, look at the tearing, right? But then also look at the tearing from trying to get the nail for this row above, right? And then here's your tar paper, and here's a seam too. So water has a very strong way to access this right here, just showing you, right? So we can all agree that that has just already created damage. It's just, how do we do this? Strung out all across the roof. Look at this level of cracking from the nail hole, right? There's a big ass hole. So how do we do this? We're not even done. How do we do this level of repair all over the roof when just doing partially, we're not even done, partially this portion, we're already looking at some significant levels of failure here, repair failure. All right, let me get this set up, reset up, and I'm gonna slide my new shingle in, put my nails in, and then we will once again reconvene, document that process, get this done, and you know, submit everything, try to work together to find the best solution. So I'm gonna grab my hammer, my roof snake, and my nails. There's a couple of them I gotta put in a little heavier. So slide this guy in, hopefully don't get stuck or nothing. But as I could already show, some of these seams are wide open to the elements where the felt paper is right underneath. There's not going to be as much protection on that as there would have been before the repair, before breaking the bond and pulling those nails out. So the right thing to do, respectfully, would be to then tarp the area after I've, you know, put this new shingle in. And so trying to get good alignment, making sure there's nothing up underneath of it where it can't reseal, can't lay down flat. And then I'm gonna take my nail and my roof snake and start plugging them in, securing this into the right position. But we've got some significant things already demonstrated here that can kind of show the real picture of this level of construction. And just hoping for a reasonable, you know, outline here of how to find the best solution. So I'm gonna lift this up, try to pin this right here in the tar strip. All right, we're in there, we're secure. The first nail. Make sure it's flat. Good. Now we're gonna get our third one in. Right into the tar strip. Got a whole bunch of granular loss just falling down the roof and just doing this. All right, so that's 4 nails in the first row. Get these last 4 in and then we'll take a look. nice and flush. It's our last nail. And we'll take a look at everything we've done so far. This one's being a little stubborn on me. It's always the last nail that's the most stubborn. There we go. All right. That's the last nail. Everything's nice and taut. I'm gonna put some of these tools out the way. Make sure we're in a safe position to document. And then show this quick level of repair here. And so this is our shingle that we put in, and as you can see, look at all this granular loss below me. Like literally granulars all over the roof, just raining down. And granular losses, no, that's not an insurable loss, but in the process of repair, it definitely shows the level of pliability, and because of the repair, granular loss has accrued on the shingles that we are affecting here, and that's obviously damaging their integrity, right? It's just one portion. We've got plenty more to show for. We've already documented what the back of this shingle looks like, the front of it, the back sides of these, and just from a level of, you know, due diligence here, we've got a pretty strong level of cracking and creasing right here. I'm gonna try and get you a good angle, but look right here in that corner. So all up here in this top, and this is just by doing this gently. I hope you can see all this properly, right? Here's the one next to it. Got a level of cracking starting to form, kind of like a pattern here. Same with this one that's above it. This is the second row. This one's damaged. The integrity is damaged. It's cracked up here in that corner. It's creased right here, and it's cracking in this corner too. The one next to it, we've got a pinch point right here. Wasn't there before the repair. That's just damaging this back side of it. What do you got? This one is actually not bad, but obviously it's a part of all the other shingles. This one, by pulling out the nail, has this obvious tear right through the front. It went all the way through by breaking that bond and then pulling out the nail. What else? We showed the back sides of these. Look at that gaping hole, significant level of mat transfer, right? Same with this one we had already shown for. Look at that level of, you know, mat that's on the back side of that shingle that came from breaking the bond here. So by all standards, we have affected the 2 rows above, and this is just, you know, a little bit of that example, just in the process of this repair. Not to mention the tearing through the nails that was already demonstrated right there at the seams, where multiple areas of this, you know, underlayment was exposed. So what I'm gonna do, I have to, as a viable contractor, label this one as a fail. By all standards, we have 5 points of failure to look for, which one would be mat. And yes, we have significant level of mat transfer, right? Then we have creasing. Yes, we have creasing on both rows above our repair from where we had to break the bond and remove the nails. We have cracking where the shingle had cracked all the way through. Then delamination, that's that back side where the integrity of the shingle itself, the fiberglass is obviously exposed, all that thatching, it's ripped through. Those shingles don't come like that, right? They're not made like that. So when the back sides are completely delaminated from this process of repair, that would be considered, you know, failure by all standards, where that integrity of that specific shingle or that row has now been jeopardized. It's not going to perform its duty to shed water or you know, not allow water to get into the actual roof deck, right? And then we have granular loss. And if you were to look at everything that I've done, I'm like almost slipping on the roof. I'm kind of shaking right now because this is not necessarily safe, but we have a significant level of granular loss that came specifically from the repair. And so here we have a check mark next to every single one of these 5 points of failure that we have to equate for. And so, yes, we have mat transfer, significant. Yes, we have creasing. Yes, we have cracking. Yes, we have damp lamination. And yes, we have granular loss. And so by all standards known within this industry, that would be something that would be labeled non-repairable. And we've labeled that and demonstrated it and done so as gentle as possible with the proper tools and methods, the right way, which, like I said, no other contractor to be hired to be out here to perform this repair would actually take the same level of care in doing it. And so what this is showing by all 5 points is that this is totally a failed attempt at the repair because of the condition of the roof. And I actually picked the better side to demonstrate this because this is the more brittle, cracking, crumbling side. And so if I would have performed that repair on this side, you would have seen a whole different level of significant cracking, creasing, crumbling, and tearing of these shingles. I did it on the good side because I'm a professional and I wanted to give a good attempt at this and also demonstrate everything that we would need to show, hey, if we did this level of repair strung out all across the roof, it'd be an absolute catapulting domino effect that would just cascade all the way through. Then of course we have, you know, code items that we would have to adhere to, such as ice and water within the valleys and the eaves, that in doing our process of repair, we have to make sure that we're doing so by code and manufacturer guidelines. And because of this level of demolition, there'd be no way to do that without tearing up, you know, the valley, tearing up the ridge, tearing up just like so many sections of this roof in order to achieve it. And then of course we have the solar panels, right? And so I don't necessarily know what to do here. We talked with the solar company. They provided an estimate that they would charge for coming out and removing the panels. We don't want to touch them as our company because if we did, we could potentially void that warranty. We don't want to do that. This is necessarily a fresh installation for solar that should probably not have been installed on this roof and at the get-go. Sure, once we remove the panels, we can take some pictures and, you know, document the level of storm damage. It's probably right underneath of this installation as well. So by all standards, I you know, have to deem as a professional contractor this roof non-repairable. And like, there'd be no way to address this level of repair all through here without tearing up the flashing, going up underneath of the solar panels themselves, all through here, ripping off the ridge, coming down that gable. It's just, this is a massive level of demolition and construction. It would just make more sense to replace the roof in full, remove all future liability, protect the home value at that, and allow a 5-star contracting company that's going to take care of them the right way, ensure that they don't have to call into home site next year to file yet another claim and another one in the future and another one in the future, never really getting anywhere, because all of this should be done right the first time, right? And each time they're going to have to call in that new claim, it's probably going to be yet another repair order under their deductible. So let's see if we can find the best solution, do the right thing here for the insured. And I'll be here with you and then be here with them every single step of the way, make sure they're taken care of properly, done so the right way. But this is Mike Ash with Panda Exteriors. Today is October 8th of 2024 at the Fennell residence. We have performed by all standards an attempt to repair that has shown absolute levels of failure. And we just want to make sure that we're documenting that to find the best solution of you know, addressing the level of storm damage that's across this roof that is not the homeowner's fault by any means, and, you know, work to indemnify them completely from their covered loss. Thanks once again, Justin. I hope you and I can have a one-on-one conversation if needed. Of course, we'll involve the homeowner, but just making sure that, hey, we can work together. I'm not, you know, I'm not one of them guys that's a stickler for everything. This is definitely something that when you look at this level of impact, it just makes more sense to take care of the whole thing. Justin, thank you so much, my man. Appreciate it. And then we will submit all items and be in touch. Thanks.